Cabbie, let's go back in time. Let's talk about Cabbie's very first concert experience.
Okay. It was at the Sky Dome, and it was MC Hammer was the headliner.
Nice.
En Vogue opened, and then it was Vanilla Ice, and there was MC Hammer. And I wore the ugliest. I wore like a denim jacket that was like what was the wash? It wasn't
Acid wash.
It was acid wash, and it had like leather lapels, and it was just so ugly. I wish I still had it because I could wear it for Halloween and be like, hey, I'm the ugliest dude in the city. And that would be my costume, and I would win whatever party I went to, whatever contest I went to. That was my first concert.
How was that concert?
It was awesome. All I did was dance. It was, and I didn't know any other dances but the Running Man.
Yeah.
So I did the Running Man for about 2 hours, and that's it.
How many people did Hammer have on stage? Like 60, 70?
It was a football team plus like a cheerleading squad. There were 103 people on stage. Then MC 104.
Can you remember the first album you ever bought with your hard-earned cash?
Yes, the first album I ever bought with my own money was Bobby Brown's My Prerogative. I was in Charlottetown, PEI.
Nice.
I was a Boy Scout, 12, and we went to a record store. We were there for a jamboree, and the cassette cost $18.99. When you're 12, that's a lot of money.
That's a ton of money.
I used to deliver papers for the Toronto Sun, so I would make like $30 a week, which to me was like, I'm the man. Like I could go to Club Monaco and buy a sweatshirt at the end of the month. But that was my first cassette, and I wore that sucker out. I'm gonna sound cliche, but Drake is my favorite Canadian artist. He'll tell these stories about his relationships and be very vulnerable, and it's so relatable, and women love his music. I've had women tell me that ex-dudes text them Drake lyrics.
I've heard this, yeah.
Have you done it?
But no.
Okay. Have you though?
Possibly once.
But his music connects so well with the audience, and I love it. Like I think he's just such a great writer. And I know that's cliche. I'm trying to get into Arcade Fire, but I just don't understand what they mean in the music.
Represent?
Yes. Sonically it sounds cool, but I just need to understand what. And I'm not smart enough to I need to read like Rolling Stone and then Esquire and then Spin and Details. I need to read about them a little bit more.
Do you feel like this Drake album is far more Toronto than it was this previous album?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, it is pretty Toronto, and I love how he puts on for a city, because Toronto has never been cool as far as like the music industry goes.
Right.
And a long time ago, I think it was like, I want to say it was one of the Wu-Tang dudes. It was either Capadonna or Raekwon had a song in like the late 90s where he said, if you in Maryland, check for if you were Toronto, and he mentions Toronto,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh!
He said our name!
Yeah, and then a couple years ago, I think T-Pain had it in a song with Timberlake. I've been Toronto, and you hear that in the club, you're like, yeah, Toronto, yeah. But now Drake does it all the time, and you just feel, it's like you, I don't know, the city has a little bit more of a swagger until Rob Ford.
I knew you were gonna do it.